Welcome to another episode of the Back Catalogue podcast. This is the podcast where we are here in 2023. And by we, I mean me, Apple, my co-host / co-founder Vincent. We dive into the streaming service. We tell you, the listener and the viewer, what is worth it and what is not. Vincent, we're here. Bro, it is 2023. I've said it myself.
Yeah.
And in this same year, the year of Jason Statham 2023, we have the sequel to the Meg coming out. The Meg, The Trench. I believe that's what it's called.
Hold on, that hasn't come out yet.
The Meg, it's called Meg 2, The Trench, coming out in 2023. This year. That's why I said we're here in 2023. But today we're not talking about the Trench because it hasn't come out yet. But instead we are doing 2018's very own, The Meg.
The Trench.
Without the trench.
Without the trench, but there is also a trench.
I mean, they go into the trench.
But the second one, I'm sure they'll just be strictly in the trench. Why is this?
Dude, I saw the trailer for the Meg 2, or Meg 2.
And they were just in the trenches.
The trench. They weren't in the trench. That's the thing.
They weren't in the trench.
Yes, I don't know why it's called the trench.
I mean, you're in the trench, you're out the trench. You know?
Eventually you get out. Now, I'm going to give you some facts on this, and we're going to get into this, right? So this got the 5.6 out of 10 on the IMDb. It's got 46% on Rotten Tomatoes. This was adapted from a book called Meg, a novel of deep terror.
Meg, the girl next door. That's what I was expecting after. That 100%. I'm not even. I can almost say with certainty that the cover of that book just says like the Meg, and it's just one of them generic. Like, hey, this is some random shark picture, and it's just, you know those books that you can tell that it's just like generic covers almost.
I mean, this is a different one. This is called Meg Night Stalkers, but it's just two sharks, in this case Megs, in the ocean, and a man swimming, being like, oh my god, there's a Meg behind me.
Oh my god, it's Meg.
And then there's the other one, which is Meg, a novel of deep terror, which is a Meg coming out of the water and someone on a lilo just kicking back, relaxing.
Not for long.
Which isn't scary to me. If I'm on a lilo kicking back, relaxing, and Meg comes and eats me, that's the best way you're going to go.
Well, you can't really prepare for that. You can't really even. You just I'm on the water and that's it.
Like there's no fear in that because
it's
an instant. But let me give you some facts on this because we'll get into where things are instantly dangerous versus where they're not. But they had a budget of 130 to 178 million.
That's that's dollars, but I mean I guess we just came out of Spider-Man and they were 200s.
Yeah, and it made a whopping 530.2 million US dollars.
See, that's wild to me, but I understand that after some events that have transpired today, which we'll get into later. But also, I'm going to talk about them more on the Patreon. So if you're not on the Patreon, I mean,
dude, when you pause, I thought like that's the end of his statement. I'm going to have to jump in here.
No.
But you'll talk about it later, is what you're saying.
I'm talking. We'll do some clickbaits for the Patreon episode. Mm-hmm. So if you want to join the Patreon, we got people there that enjoyed the content. Like we've got people that have been on there for months. I don't call it a comeback. They've been here for months.
Yeah, and they either forgot how to just get rid of it, or they've enjoyed it. So that's what we're saying, which we're really happy with.
And either way, we'll take it.
And we say the content is better there, and it's because it is.
Yep.
But you got to pay for that.
If you're good at something, never do it for free.
That's exactly right. So, Vincent, can I give you the synopsis? We'll get into it.
Yep.
When an underwater research team is attacked by a prehistoric shark assumed to be extinct, a rescue diver is hired to save them. Soon, they must stop the shark before it reaches more populated areas. And I mean, if there's ever been a synopsis that tells you what it needs to tell you,
that's absolutely straight to the point.
That's it.
Which is essentially what this movie is.
This movie is straight to the point.
And it'll tell you how it gets to that point in great detail.
Yeah. What I want to talk about today is the hits and the misses. Because there's not much in regards to themes, thematic,
Oh, they try to put in themes. Like they put in the token daughter in there. Oh, Mum, are you going to come back? Don't worry, I'll get your mother back. I'm Jason Statham.
Yeah, but is that themes? Or is that just like, that's just a plot point?
I mean, that's, That's whatever. That's neither here nor there.
But maybe they thought that's themes.
They thought that was themes of, or there was themes of, hey, oh my God, my dad was very strict on me, but now he loves me because he thinks I'm better than him. That's all I ever wanted. Yes.
I mean, that's themes. If I search up themes in the dictionary, it's got the Asian family in this movie just hoping that the next generation respects them. And that's what it is. What I want to talk about, though, is my want for a resurgence of these big natural monster movies. I'm not talking about those unnatural beings. I'm talking about the natural beings amongst this world. I want to talk about the hits and the misses, and I want to talk about, is this Jason Statham's most bold role? And take that as you will. Take that as you will.
Most bold.
But let's get into the reason that
I like how you've left your hair grow a little bit to mimic Jason Statham in this movie.
Well, see, the thing about Jason in this movie, and we've had this conversation off air and also on the Patreon, is he has the horseshoe.
Yeah,
he has the not much hair on the top, but he's got the thickness on the side, right? And I've said to Vincent many a times,
no, this is not the same thing,
dude. This is the same thing.
This is not the same thing.
This is just on a different head, and this is where we need to get this right, Vincent. So I've said to Vincent on several occasions, as you can see, like I haven't got much hair on the top, so I can have these conversations openly. Like if people are talking about appropriation, I'm in this space. Jeez. I'm living in it, right? There's this conversation that we've been having about how I think that haircut amongst bald men is a good haircut.
Okay. This is the wrong conversation, because you said bald men who have bald on the top but hair on the sides, not stubble on the sides, not like 5 o'clock shadow on the sides. You're saying hair. We're talking like hair you've seen in the Bible. They ain't got no hair on the top and they got hair around the sides.
No, I'm not saying like
that's what you pitched to me. You said, hey, they got hair on the sides.
I said hair. Hair can be stubble.
Brother, the photos that you sent me, and you were like,
look, hold up a second.
This is distinguished. These are distinguished gentlemen. And I'm looking at it and I'm going, they should just shave their head. I don't know Prince William, I don't know what you're holding on to.
Look, Prince William was a popular one.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Man's holding on to hope and he shouldn't be.
But let me tell you another one. So what about that man Harris? His last name's Harris he's from Pain and Gain. I'm going to get his name up here, because this guy, if you see this guy rolling around, you're going to say, man, that is Ed Harris. You're at home, you pull up Ed Harris. I mean, in these first photos that I pulled up, he does not look
That's
good.
what I just...
Mans doesn't look good here. But otherwise, look at this dude. That's a distinguished gentleman right there. This is people at home can search up Ed Harris, but look past the first 4 photos.
Yeah, see, I don't know. Why is he's almost got like ears at the back, above his ears. Yes. Yeah, see, yeah.
Okay, so where we fell off in our argument and conversation,
I think Jason Statham's in the Meg.
Yeah.
He's the best bold here. Because he's got that stubble. This doesn't look distinguished. It's just a decent hairstyle.
He looks like he's on holiday.
That's right.
He usually would shave, but now he's on holiday. And he is, because wherever he's living in this movie.
I think he's in Thailand.
He's in Thailand and just drinking bups, which are like which are great beers. But what I wanted to get at was that the word that I used didn't sit well with you, so I used hair. And your interpretation of hair was
it wasn't just
like crossing the
it
clown
wasn't just
back.
that, bro. You didn't just say, "Oh, this is not a miscommunication here." You showed me photographs of people and you said that's distinguished. I'm saying he would look better if he just shaved his head.
And look, I'm not saying I'm going to go there, but I'm saying others that do, because I'm just strictly. I mean, I've let my hair grow out a little bit because I've been lazy, but I'm just strictly bald. And but I'm just saying, I'll see a guy walking around with the, I don't know what I think it's called the donut, the chrome donut. You see that, I think, man, this guy must be, he's got K's in the bank.
I was about to say, he must be making money.
He must. But let's get into the Meg. So I love a big monster movie. You love a big monster movie too. We love King Kongs, we love Godzillas, we love the Pacific Rims of the world. You throw a kaiju at us, we'll watch it. We'll sit there and watch it.
Pacific Rim was one of the all-time movies, but the best thing that came out of that movie was this one meme I saw that was just pictures of the movie with the people in the suits, and they were just like car rims, and there was like, is that the one? Is that the one? Is that the one? Is that the one? Yeah, specific rim. And you know, that's like some people have told me that our sense of humor is just for the only two people that listen to it, which is
us,
you and I. And when I think back to things like that, I'll say, you have a very valid point.
But I also say there's hope.
I mean, if Prince William's still holding on to hope with our hair, we can hold on to hope that
Some will find us funny.
some people will find us funny.
But the good thing about that is that's old school meme format as well, which we've got into in previous videos about memes. But I love it. I love a monster movie. You love a monster movie. But what I really love is a real life natural monster movie. So for example, during this week or the past couple of weeks, I was meant to be watching Spider-Man, but instead I watched Anaconda and the Hunt for the Blood Orchid, which is a movie from like 2006, 2007. And this movie is exactly what this is. It is like the building block. You know, Anaconda and Hunt for the Blood Orchid walked so the Meg could run, is what I'm telling you here. This movie is a group of a ragtag bunch of people coming together, led by like a man that's, you know, this guy I believe was also living in a coastal country and just drinking beers, and he's the only white guy. He's drinking bups, and he's the only white guy there, but he's become a part of the community. A disgruntled old man that used to be about, well, not old man, but a disgruntled man who used to be about the business.
Did he look distinguished?
He didn't look he looked yoked though, which I'm going to get into in a little bit about the yokedness of these people. But he had to get back into the game. He didn't want to, but he had to get back into the game. And it's a story, you know, as old as time, a tale as old as time, but it is exactly the Meg.
Yeah.
And this is what I want. This is what I want a resurgence of. And I think the Meg has the capacity to do this.
If it was a good movie.
We'll talk about that. To bring back the natural monster movies.
Yeah, I'll say, yeah, bring back the natural monsters.
You know, a big crocodile.
Just bring back, you know, we're out here trying to do science, and then we do something that's just like, hey, maybe you shouldn't have done science, and then we just got to kill a bunch of things.
Fantastic.
Because that's the basis of like humanity.
But there also has to be it has to be science things as well. I think science things putting that at the forefront is great.
There has to be science things. There has to be someone who like said, hey, this was out there.
Yeah.
Like I knew it. And then, you know, man's just gone, he's just drinking bups.
Yeah.
Right? And then they got to pull him out. They got to go, we need you. You were right. All they need to go up and says, you were right. And then they go fight whatever sort of
beast
giant beast. I want just a giant hippo in one of them.
Dude.
I want some animals that you just wouldn't think of.
But hippos kill. They'll kill a village. And they won't be put on film.
I mean, yeah.
And that's discrimination, is what I'm saying. Because if I see a hippo out there in the waters, right? If I see a hippo and I see a megalodon there in the waters, I'm going to tell you which one I'm better off going up against. I'm better off going up against the megalodon. And for one reason only. I'm just going to stay out of the water. But like hippos, like they'll come out the water.
That's true.
They'll be slower.
They'll follow you.
They'll be slower, but they're coming out the water, dude.
Bro, they'll be.
Dude, what a movie, man.
What?
The hippos.
Yeah.
Like hip.
based on the hit book, Hip.
The girl next door.
The girl next door. From the village next door.
Dude,
Hip, the one that ate that village.
Dude, we got to do the movie in which, like, you know, some scientists go to this village to maybe find, I don't know, you know, there's a lost village. They're out of touch with humanity, right? Boom, they go there, village gone. Hip's coming.
They're looking at the GPS. They go like, hey, village. It's coordinates. It's right here. Some dude, look, village gone.
Dude, village gone. We got
and then
calls
we
at the house.
We got phone calls. I mean, that's wild that there's still a home phone.
There's still a home phone in the stew.
I mean, this is someone's home.
Yeah, but it's a stew.
It is a stew.
So let's get into the Meg. So I really am looking forward to the resurgence of these films and the fact that Meg 2 is coming out as well.
I see. I can't believe that they're making another movie of this, but then I can, given that it made, you know, 300 mil over what they spent on it.
Yeah.
But it's insane to me that this movie made that much money.
I mean, this movie also, you can see just from the way from the actors that they use, but also where they are in the world. the things that are presented at some parts in the world, this was presented to an Asian audience as well.
Yeah.
It was not just the Western audience, which I think a movie like this might fail budget box office wise if it was just presented as,
Just
hey,
for the
this is a
West.
straight up Jason Statham doing American / UK things. But in this case, it was like, hey, we're marketing to the cultures that love these movies. The kaiju films, right?
I mean, I don't know where the Greeks and Italians are in these films because
But we fell into it. But there's never Greeks and Italians in these movies, is there?
I want a Walyo in there, I want a Walyo. I want a, what's some
Like Maron,
I don't. Yeah, I was going to say some
You
Greek.
say some Greek, like, I mean, we could say opera, but
Elare.
yeah, but see, people don't know that.
People don't know that. Yeah, Greeks don't really have. I mean,
we don't have that stereotypical thing. Like they'll do the Zorba on the Meg.
that's right.
But here's the thing, right? This movie has been marketed to more people than just the Western Front.
Yeah.
And this is why this movie made a lot of money. And this is why this movie is getting a sequel. And that sequel is set in similar spaces. Obviously, the Mariana, you that's another Italian thing, almost marinara. But you put this thing in the Mariana
I mean,
Trench.
you go down there's seafood, You put a bit of pasta there, that's a pasta marinara. And you got beans, and,
dude.
then you got no choice.
Yeah, I mean, you got no choice, you got beans. But that's probably why it's also location. If a Meg's going to come out anywhere, it's going to be coming out of the Mariana.
I mean, that's the difference between for sale and sold.
That's exactly right. Let's talk about Jason Statham's in this movie.
Jason Statham in this movie, I'm reading my script now. Jason Statham in this movie was the only one that actually, I'm not reading anything. It was the only one that looked like he was paid to be there. Everyone else, and there's actors in this.
There are actors in this.
There's actors.
There's Rain.
There's Rain.
You got a man named Rain.
And I mean, you got a man named Rain, but he's not doing it. Like, I was trying to make a joke, didn't happen.
You don't think the guy from Heroes was acting?
Brother, this looked like a B movie. If I saw this on TV in the middle of the day, like in between Oprah and Judge Judy,
Yeah.
I'd say, yep, this fits the aesthetic.
That's top tier of B movies.
The acting in this movie was garbage, except for Jason Statham.
See, I don't think that it was garbage.
Right.
I think that it was well suited to this style. Because if you're doing Megalodons, right? Think about this now.
Okay, maybe not
'Cause-
just the acting, but also the dialogue was just top tier trash.
Let me get into this. If you're doing Megalodons, and I'm saying Megalodons because there was two in this movie, and like for some reason like they only thought there was one, but somehow there's been just two big ass sharks in this movie,
That's what. Yeah,
which is hilarious to me because they've got the biggest research facility ever.
they're doing science and they're saying like we've got sonar. There's one. We've got them, and they don't know that there's one that's like 5 times the size.
Yeah, we're going to get into the sonar stuff and being able to track a huge, however big this foot shark was. One of the reasons why I think that this movie benefits from poor dialogue and poor acting, if you will, is because if you had a Leonardo DiCaprio type in here, okay? Now let me get into this. If you had a Leonardo DiCaprio type in here, you're taking yourself away from the thing that matters. The thing that matters is there's big ass megalodon in the water.
Yeah, but they didn't
And
even.
people falling in there just be like, oh my God, I'm falling into
Yeah, but that
megalodon.
wasn't even that much of the movie. This was one of the worst movies for people talking. If people just stopped talking, it'd be a great movie.
But what about when the little Asian girl called Jason Statham's crazy all the time when she saw him?
She was probably the best actor.
She was very good.
Second after Jason Statham.
She was very good.
Everyone, but the dialogue was terrible because it was like, hey, we need to do this. Why do we need to do that? It's because of this. Oh, but also because of this. Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand now. It's because of this and this. Thank you for putting it so succinctly. And 5 minutes later, there's a megalodon.
I mean, there's science and there's megalodons. And sometimes you got to put science in a succinct manner. Because if you're sitting there saying H. Healy, Bibkinov, Nina McGarr,
but the thing is, they're not even saying science things. It's like, hey, we need to put a tracker on the shark. How are we going to do that? Well, so we're going to get in the water. We're going to get in the shark cage, right? Yeah. And it's going to be there. And the shark's going to come because it's a shark cage. And we're on a boat and it's the ocean. And that's where sharks live, right? Okay. And we're going to have the tracker. And the tracker's going to be on a little gun. Yeah. Because we can't just put it on there because like, have you seen the shark? It's big.
You got to get close to it as well.
So we're going to get close to it, and then we've got to go then shoot the shark, and then we're going to be able to track it.
And then Jason Statham has to be pulled away.
That's right. And then someone else has to do something, and they're out of their depth, because like
Because it's deep
It's
where
deep.
they are. Like it's marinaras.
it's
So one of the reasons why that's great is because one, they explain to you and you're thinking like, this is going to go well because they've explained it so succinctly. And then Jason Statham's in the water being pulled by a rope while a megalodon is chasing him,
the action scenes in this movie were the best part by far.
which is fantastic.
I know. Just the rest of it just made. I mean, some of it, the movie was very, hey, we're doing a Hollywood movie and it's got a big shark in it and it's action,
Yeah.
and that's fine. But I feel like you should have just done more of that.
Of just megalodons in the water.
I'm telling you, the best part of this movie was when I don't know what the guy's name, the Australian guy who's one of the head researchers there. He goes to the dude that Jason Statham saved in the first scene, and he's like, "We need Jonas. We need Jonas." And this dude's like, "Oh, he's crazy. He left us there to die." And then this man goes, "He saved your goddamn life." That's what we need. That's what we need. And
I mean, that happened, right?
That's a terrible American accent, and I'll do a better one, the Ruby Rose, on every day of the week. But that's what I need more of. I need just lines like that.
Yeah.
I need them to go to Thailand on a helicopter, and Jason Statham to say, "That life's over for me. That's it. I'm drinking pop-ups. I got this hat on. You see my 5 o'clock shadow? It's the chrome donut, brother."
It's a chrome donut, but it's 5 o'clock.
"You're right, Jonas. Let's kill this shark."
I mean, that's great.
That's great.
But that's what I'm saying. That's this movie. That's his.
No. But the rest, no. There's rubbish in there about, and then there's like this weird love story between Jason Statham and the researcher with the kid.
Yeah, that is. They didn't need to put romantic.
They just needed to put random catchphrases that was action things, and then do action things, and then someone do something crazy, and then Jason Statham has to go save them in some wild situation.
Yeah.
And then some dude's taking pictures of a shark and he gets eaten by the shark.
Well, we suffer a little bit in this movie, and I will say I'm being.
This is 2 hours.
I'm being a bit facetious in regards to saying that this is top tier dialogue, but one thing that we do suffer from is the Fast and the Furious method of dialogue. Is the fact that, and the man that you were talking about is Cliff Curtis.
Cliff Curtis.
So
What a name.
Cliff Curtis will say,
You have a name that starts with the same letter and the last name?
and it's both C's as well. Like there's
that's
no
what I mean.
K's. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
Yeah.
he's right on.
I mean, it doesn't matter. Just phonetically. As long as they're phonetically the same.
Cliff will say one thing, and then the next part of that will be answered by Ruby Rose, to the next part being answered by Rainn Wilson.
There's
in
no
this
way
movie,
Ruby Rose gets a movie after this that is got her speaking in a American accent.
Ruby Rose was Batgirl for a hot minute.
Yeah, I wonder why for a hot minute.
Dude, see, I respect that people don't like Ruby Rose, but like,
No.
you put Ruby Rose in the movie, and I say that's Australian.
That's fine. That's fine. That
She let me tell you where she was born.
as an actor, I'd have no issue. It's just the accent is. It's just you can tell that it's half Australian, half American.
Yeah, I mean,
she's Australian, then she's American, then she's Australian, then she's American.
she's been in a lot of like low tier movies, unfortunately, and that's just like the Ruby Rose state of the world. And I hope she's in the Meg too, but it doesn't look like it. One of the scenes, and what I was saying was, it suffers from the Fast and the Furious thing, in which everyone has to get a piece of the dialogue to show that they're a cohesive team. But what happens with that is that you have a movie that could be an hour and a half of just megalodons, megalodon focused, but you end up getting a 2-hour movie because you got a pad with science, well, pseudoscience, if you will. It's not really pseudoscience. It's just like they're talking about science adjacent things.
They're just saying, "Hey, it's a big shark. Hey, the water got hot. Shark come out.
It did.
We can see shark now because of sonar."
But if you give me lines like what you said when how Jason Statham ended up coming into it, fantastic. One of my other favorite lines is when Jason Statham meets Ruby Rose.
Yeah. She looks like she knows what she's doing or something like that.
Yeah, and he's like, who are you? And she says, "I'm the person that knows what I look like, I'm doing," or something. And then Jason Statham says, "I like that."
Yeah.
Fantastic.
That's all you need.
You've
Next scene.
given me Jason Statham's whole persona, that he's like a good guy. He's the good guy here because he likes people in different
Don't
roles.
worry, I'll get Captain Bubbles and your mum out of here. Yeah. That's all I need. I just need one-liners from Jason Statham. Bruce Willis did it in Die Hard. Just one-liners. That's all I need. It's an action movie. It's not meant to be, oh, my daughter, I love you. I've always been proud of you. You're better than I'll ever be. Yeah, because I'm dead now. And like that's.
But the good thing about it is this is not. I mean, there's levels to it, but this is the original formula for those big monster movies because they try to put heart in these things, and the heart never works. But you come there for the megalodon eating things, but you stay that's where you arrive for, right? You arrive for the megalodon eating things.
Yeah.
But then you stay for the cringiness and you say, why is this happening for 2.5 hours?
Also, you could almost pinpoint exactly when things were going to happen.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know, you go, oh, they've just said, oh, thank God that's over. Man gets eaten by a shark.
Well, I mean, the fact that the megalodon that they first kill, you pause the movie and you're about an hour into a 2-hour movie.
Well, I don't even have to look at the time, but you got the dude taking pictures with the shark for that long.
Yeah. And also, Jason Statham briefly says, look at the teeth. They're different, you know, from what they saw on the thing. And then boom, like Mans gets eaten then and there. This is where this movie falls down a little bit. They have the greatest space station, you know, it could be a space station, the way that it looks. But they have the greatest, what's the word I'm looking for? Facility known to man. Like they spent billions of dollars on it. They spent Elon Musk money on it.
It actually wasn't that much money. I think he only spent like a couple billion.
But anyway, we're talking billions. And that's more than this movie made. And they've got this space station set up. I keep calling the space station. I'm going to continue to do that.
I mean, it's in a space.
It's in space. And they still can't figure out where the Meg is. They have sonar things that show like, hey, this is the Meg. They have little rovers with cameras. And you're telling me you can't see a 32-foot thing. Jeez. This thing is not small, but for some reason in this movie, this is like the most sleuthy of megalodons, of giant creatures you ever see. Like King Kong was never hiding behind a tree and then he popped out and he's like, I'm King Kong.
Where's King Kong?
Like I know
I'm here.
I know the ocean is dark. And because there's no light that's going down there eventually, like when you start going down. So you can't see everything. But that's a big thing. That is huge.
Yeah, some of the funny bits were when, you know, they go down to this Mariana Trench. They're going into this hydrogen layer or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, they've done some science things to say, hey, it's actually not the seafloor. They go under it, immediately turn on the lights. These fish haven't seen lights in like their whole life.
Those fish might explode.
Brother, those fish are dead.
I mean, they're fish scientists as well. So
I mean, you know, you turn on the lights in the middle of the night and like, I'll almost die.
I mean, you'll be shocked.
I'll be shocked.
But yeah, you know, that's another thing. Like this megalodon has been down. And it's not just that the Mariana Trench, like underneath this layer of gas. I don't know, did they talk about what the pressures were like down there? Because
there's PSIs.
There's still them anglerfish down there. So you're telling me a megalodon's going to come to the surface and not just explode like on arrival. But this is the science that we don't need. We come here for the megalodon, right. We stay for the cringe, and we finish the day with Jason Statham.
I also expected them to go under this layer and it just be huge, like Journey to the Center of the Earth situation.
But it was
like, hey, it's the coral reef, and we've got an extra 5 meters.
It was literally about, I would say enough for the rover to be on there, and through the trench.
It's like you cut down the tree in your back garden, and you're like, oh, this is fantastic. Look how much room. Oh, it's only an extra 1.5 meters.
But it just looks more open now.
That's right. It looks more open.
So you're saying how the hell is a giant squid and a megalodon down there and they haven't fought each other yet?
But that might be the Meg Trench.
They're just fighting each other down there.
And the megalodon's just you know, there's just a line of big creatures and he's just slapping them with his fin.
Well, I'm going to give you a spoiler for the Meg Trench.
That's fine because I don't care.
The opening scene of the trailer is these animals running away, and this dinosaur comes out to chase the animals of like the woods. Dinosaur comes out. Anyway, the dinosaur gets close to the water. Meg comes out, eats the dinosaur, and brings it back into the ocean. And that's a movie, dude. You tell me that ain't a movie. Like I'll have to sit here and I'll have to call Scorsese, tell this man what a movie is, and he'll say it's the megalodon coming out and eating a T-Rex.
Either they go back in time, or it's hey, we actually went to the center of the earth, and it's just that.
And there's just heaps of megalodons.
And there's just megalodons, and there's just T-Rexes, and like the T-Rexes have built a wall along the water, so then they can't get bitten by the megalodon.
I mean, that's probably a smart idea, but also I think it's pretty much the same movie, but there's just more megalodons. Because like Jason Statham's just running on like a jetty, and there's a megalodon chasing him.
I have to say the action scenes. I mean, they were so dumb, but they're fantastic.
When Jason Statham is on a rope being pulled back to the boat, and the megalodon's chasing him, and he's just swimming, that's all he's doing. He's swimming, and that is fantastic to me because one, Jason Statham dead either way. But two,
he died about 4 or 5 times in the movie
because he kicks the megalodon on the nose. I'm pretty sure at one point to like get away from it.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Like that megalodon is too big. That touch on the nose will be like an ant coming up and crawling on my nose. But I loved every bit of it. I loved when Jason Statham you knew when he was there, everyone was safe.
Yeah, that's right.
Like they'd be in the most dire situation, but Jason Statham just knew what to do.
I also find it strange. I mean, Rainn Wilson, obviously, he's the billionaire and he's here and he's doing billionaire things and like he can swim, but he can't swim and then he dies.
And it seems like he gets his comeuppance for not really doing anything too bad.
He's just, a bit of a, he's just a bit of a loudmouth in the space. Hey, I paid for this, so where's my return on investment?
That's right.
And, that's...
I mean, if you're spending billies, you better hope there's some returns on investment.
That's what I mean. Like, that's a character you don't even need in the movie. If you just had, hey, I'm the billionaire that funded this movie. I mean, he could have funded that as well. He could have funded it too. I funded this space station under the sea. And then it's in mid of the movie and they're like, hey, sorry, bro, but like we're trying to find a megalodon. Like, have you seen it? And then he goes, actually, and he turns around and he just gets eaten by the megalodon. That's all you needed. That's all you needed. If he looked a bit like Elon Musk, then people would have paid more.
And he does look a little bit like Elon Musk.
I mean, he kind of does. He's got that. I'm a cool billionaire. Yeah. I got the dunks on.
He's got like the square head as well, like the Elon Musk like head too. And that's not a bad. I'm not saying that in a bad way. I'm just saying that that's like the similar facial structure.
Yeah,
like they've done opal mining at some point. What I want to know about it feels like he was meant to be more evil than he maybe was portrayed. And I think part of that comes down to the fact that Rainn Wilson is a beloved actor, having done The Office.
I just think there's too many people in this movie that they're trying to give screen time to.
Absolutely. There's that as well, that he doesn't even get to be fully fleshed out like everyone else. But also the other thing is, I think that the way he delivers his lines are quite charismatic and funny. So even if he was saying evil lines, I'd be like, dude, Rainn, like, Beetroots, Battlestar Galactica, and Bears.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Office.
But that's what he'd say to you. The only person that's fleshed out is Jason Statham, and the reason why is because he's Jason Statham.
Yeah, and because they did that stuff at the start.
And they did that stuff in every single movie that he's ever been in. Yeah, like, he's Jason Statham.
It's the same. It's pretty much this is the best Jason Statham. He's done something, and it might be good, it might be bad, and he's had to live with that, and he's living that, drinking bups. Yeah, and he's got a straw hat on.
He's drowning his sorrows in bups.
He's drowning his sorrows in bups, and they need him again, and he needs to do it, and he's the only one that can do it.
He's back
because like Jonas was in the whale and he was out the whale, and that's the theme.
That's the theme, dude, and it's all about themes in this movie. I'm going to say to you right now that I think this movie is just a fun ride from start to finish.
If this movie was half an hour shorter, it'd be pretty decent as a, hey, we're just going to spend a bunch of money that, we could go to other things. Like we could be finding megalodons with this money, but instead we're going to show you how like we hypothetically will kill one.
Yeah. I think the shark genre is one that has been, done many a times, and for the most part, they're all enjoyable movies.
I thought this movie was going to end with, he just wanted to go home or something like that,
And he just swims down to
and
the
he just
trench.
swims down. We just got to heat the water, You
didn't think they were just going to gut him?
I mean, I as the movie progressed, I was saying that was wild though.
I mean, I know that they had their reasons for not contacting the authorities, but you do that right away. You say to the authorities, hey, listen, there's a megalodon in the water.
That's the one issue I have with the actual logistics of this movie.
Yeah.
Because, you do dumb science things, that's fine, because who really even knows science?
I mean, it's pseudo.
We'll put the Musashi hoodies on. But why are they physically going out to do everything? They got robots.
They do have robots, but the robots seem to have died like every time the megalodon came close.
Yeah, but they don't need to. But they know you don't turn on the lights.
That's true.
They've got robots. They can do flares. Mans did flares, and then the shark didn't know what was going on. He was looking left. He was looking right. Got a knife down the center. Good night. That's it.
That's it.
I'm just saying
You're saying they could have been done quicker.
I'm saying they didn't have to go out there on a boat physically to try and put a tracker on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But how would you get that scene with Jason Statham in the water?
That's right. You wouldn't get that scene. And that's the reason they didn't use robots.
Exactly.
And that was the back catalogue. And this is Jason Statham. And I'm Vincent. Goodbye. Did we rate it? That's it.